Canada Recovery Benefit, the CRB, almost 2 million Canadians have relied on it. It's now going to be cut by 40%, down by $800 in July, which is a substantial reduction. You know the NDP says keep it. It's way too soon to do it. What's the rationale for cutting it so dramatically by July?
Yeah, good question, Evan. I think right now the CRB is set at $500 a week for 38 weeks. And it's really important that we know that starting next week, about 450,000 people could begin to exhaust those first 38 weeks, which is why we're so focused on getting the Budget Implementation Act through C30 to make sure that there's no disruption of benefits for those individuals. What the budget proposes is another 12 weeks, the first 4 at $500, and the last 8 at $300. Now, that means that everybody can guaranteed get 42 weeks at $500. So if you haven't exhausted your first 42 weeks in July, say, you get $500 a week. It doesn't stop paying the $500 a week until you hit the threshold of 42. The rationale for that is seeing the transition in our recovery measures to encouraging employment, encouraging people to get back to work if they can, job creation. So, enhancing the wage subsidy, creating the new Canada hiring program, creating 500,000 training and employment opportunities through the budget. So really pivoting to a focus on supporting businesses hire, supporting workers to get back to work and trained. And we think that this is the time to do that. But what I'll say is in the legislation, there is flexibility for us to extend the CRB through to November if that's required. Oh,
so you could extend it because, look, the NDP's point is it's a pretty rough economy right now. StatsCan, has pointed out 68,000 jobs lost in May because of the new lockdowns. Yep. Second consecutive month, 207,000 job losses in April. Unemployment rate in May, 8.2%, right? In April, 8.1%. Yep. So these are pretty bad numbers. Given those numbers, a delayed recovery, you might call it, is it really the time to say to those people, hey, it's tough to find a job, we're actually losing jobs, we're not gaining jobs, we're still going to cut it?
Well, we think right now this is the most prudent course of action. So again, as I said, we know from past openings that as soon as businesses are allowed to open, they rehire. And some want to retrain. So by creating kind of the new hiring program, which incentivizes people to hire people back, give people that you already have on staff more hours, we really want people to pivot to the wage subsidy, to the hiring program. But with extending the CRB, still have that cushion if you're not in that lucky position, I guess I'd say.
Okay, just a last question on the CRB. You said you wanted to incentivize people to get back to work. There's a lot of small businesses who have said straight up that we can't find employers, right? So you've got all sorts of other, the Canadian Federation of Independent Business has said, look, there's a lot of small business operators who can't find workers. They'd rather take the COVID-related benefits. StatsCan said there's something like 632,000 vacant jobs nationally in the last little while, especially in the service sector where they just can't find workers. So are you saying to us that the CERB benefits are actually preventing people from taking work and making it hard for employers to find workers?
No, I'm saying quite the opposite. What we've seen through the labor market data is when jobs become available, people fill them. And if it's not the person that you had on staff before the closure, you can find somebody else. Like the stats show that even when more money was on the table, say last spring for CERB, people took the jobs. People want to work. I think it's a false narrative that other parties are perpetuating that Canadians don't want to work. Listen,
but
I understand.
To be fair, I just want to. I know there's a lot of politics. The hospitality sector apparently has the highest vacancy rate it's ever had. Something like 7.5% of those jobs unfulfilled, right? The construction sector, almost 6% vacancy rate. That's not politics. Those are facts.
No, you're right, and that's why the idea of us supporting workers who can't work, supporting shoring up the jobs we have, filling the ones that are vacant. Whether it's training. We're working on a sectoral project with the construction industry to train people and get them into these jobs. It's really important that we take a bunch of different approaches to this and meet Canadians where they are and meet businesses where they are. I'm super sensitive, and I hear it in my riding about businesses that can't find people. And so we really have to redouble our efforts and let people know about the jobs that are out there, because again, like I say, the data shows that people will fill them.
But I'm just trying to figure out. So you got one side saying, get rid of the CRB because we can't find workers. We just can't, and we can't fill the vacancies. The other side are saying there's too much unemployment. You're punishing people who need to pay rent and get groceries. So there's some fine line. So what is the line you're going to walk?
And that's the exact fine line we're walking, right? So we've been following the economy very closely, following job creation and job numbers. As you said, they went down the last couple of months, but we've also seen them, bounce right back as soon as they're opening. So I'm going to paying real attention to the June numbers to see if we're heading back in the same direction. It is hopeful, Evan, that we've recovered about 84% of the jobs that were lost during COVID, but that other 16% of jobs, people need support, and whether it's through more flexible EI or the CRB, we need to be there for them, and we need to be there for them at the beginning of next week.
Okay, but as you said earlier, there is a chance that you could maybe change that, and depending on what the job numbers look like. You just mentioned EI, so I want to quickly move over to that other workplace issue. The Standing Committee on Human Resources had a report on the EI system and says, look, the EI system is slow to respond to disruptions like the pandemic. Does the system need to be updated? Does it need to be expanded to include gig workers, people who are self-employed? Is that on the table?
Absolutely on the table, and that's why we're committed to modernizing EI. If one thing that the pandemic has showed of all the systems in the government of Canada, EI simply hasn't kept up with the way Canadians work, whether it's gig workers or self-employed or people who are working part-time, paying into EI but never quite getting enough hours to actually draw from EI if they've been laid off. Absolutely, and that's what we're doing. I mean, we started by extending the flexibilities we put in place temporarily for another year, and now we're just talking with stakeholders on the employer side and the labor side, with experts on what does a new EI system look like to you, a modern EI system that captures the way Canadians actually work today. And we've got about a year a year and 3 or 4 months to figure that out.
Yeah, or till the next election. We'll find that out, which could be sooner than that. Mr. Qualtrough, got to leave it there. I appreciate it. Thank you.